So now E3 is finally over. What press conferences did I like the most? What announcements did I think were the best? And how were my predictions? Spoiler alert, not very good. Welcome to Press X. So this year's E3 press conferences were great overall. There was a couple hiccups here and there, but it was a fantastic E3. I have to give top honors to Sony. The Last Guardian, Shenmue 3, a Final Fantasy VII remake, it's pretty much impossible to top this one. I could see very easily why people would say Microsoft won. The Last Guardian isn't very interesting if you don't know the Shadow of the Colossus or Ico game. Shenmue is a pretty niche game as well. People have been clamoring for the third game in the saga. I can see why that wouldn't interest people as well. I'm sure half the audience didn't even know what the game was. The Final Fantasy VII game is also technically a multi-platform release, and a lot of people judge E3 off of the exclusives that they see. And since that's not technically an exclusive, it's got that Tomb Raider stupid timed exclusive deal with it, I can see why people would say, well, it's not an exclusive, so it doesn't count. However, that's not how I judge my E3. I look at the games that are shown and how engaged and interested I was. Sony takes the top spot with Microsoft just below it. It's rare for somebody to show me something and then I change my mind on it, and that happened at Microsoft's conference. They showed off ReCore and Cuphead. These were games I was genuinely interested in. And they showed off Gears of War 4, a game I didn't care about and they made me care. Just like the HoloLens, something I really didn't care about, but after they showed it, I was interested. After that, I have to give it to Square. I know that's crazy, and most people put Square near the bottom of the conferences, but I have to say, the games they showed off were awesome. I'm very excited for Star Ocean. They made me care about Hitman. They had Tomb Raider, and they showed the Final Fantasy VII trailer again, which got me excited all over again. But they showed off Kingdom Hearts 3 and paired it with Tangled, one of my favorite Disney movies. I almost have to give it to them by default for having Kingdom Hearts 3. After that, I have to say Bethesda. I wasn't super interested in any of the games that they revealed. Doom was slightly interesting. Fallout kinda has me, but I'm still not completely sold, and I don't care about Elder Scrolls. Overall, it was still an entertaining conference to watch, even though I didn't particularly want any of the games that they revealed. They also spent so much time on each game that I felt like I really got to know it. For that, I have to put Bethesda in this spot. After that would be Nintendo, which had the complete opposite problem as Square. The presentation was awesome, but the games weren't, whereas Square's presentation was boring with awesome games. Star Fox seems interesting. I'm going to get Super Mario Maker no matter what. Other than that, they didn't have too many things that interest me. A company that showed even less games that I was interested in would have to be EA. They're going to be next on this list. Mirror's Edge looks fantastic, but we didn't seem to see anything new about it. It looks like the old Mirror's Edge as far as gameplay goes, and while that's a good thing, I wish they showed off something new for the series. It seems like it may be a co-op campaign because they did have a male runner somewhere in that trailer, but they didn't talk about that, so I really have nothing to say. They also showed off a new Mass Effect game. Unraveled is the other game that they had to show off, and it looked fantastic. I'm really excited for that one. Finally, I have Ubisoft. They had a good presentation. Aisha Tyler is fantastic, but that's about all they had. I'm super interested in South Park: Fractured But Whole. Great title. That's the only thing that caught my eye the whole conference. So overall, I have Sony, Microsoft, Square, Bethesda, Nintendo, EA, finally Ubisoft. So without further ado, let's take a look at my predictions. Here we go. Alright, so here's my chart of my predictions. We're going to go a little out of order of how I have this chart though. We're going to do the order of the press conferences. So we'll start with Microsoft, move on to Sony, and then finally finish up with Nintendo. So I predicted that Microsoft, which announced that the Gears of War remake is actually Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Then I announced that they would have a Gears of War CG trailer with no gameplay, and that there would be a Gears of War beta coming later. So, the Gears of War trilogy did not happen. So far, 0. The Gears of War 4 was revealed, but they also had a gameplay trailer. But I don't think I specifically said that there would be no gameplay. Maybe I did. I'm still giving myself a little credit. And then I said that the Gears of War 4 beta would come with Gears Ultimate Edition, and it does not. So I went 1 for 3 on my first prediction. My second prediction is that Halo 5 would get stage time, showing off single and multiplayer. That happened. They had a section for single player, and then they showed off Warzone, the multiplayer variant. I also predicted that they would show off a Halo 5 exclusive console. That did not happen. I also said that they would re-release the Halo 5 beta starting this week only. That didn't happen. Another 1 out of 3 for me. Next up was Tomb Raider. I said that Rise of the Tomb Raider was going to get stage time. Not only that, it would be a gameplay demo, and it would be coming this November. I also said that they wouldn't clear up the exclusive deal. All of those were correct. 1 point for me. I said that Rare would come out on stage, and announced that they're bringing back a beloved franchise. I predicted that the franchise would be Viva Pinata. It wouldn't be Banjo, and it wouldn't be Conker. This one's really hard to judge. They did come out, and they did say that they're bringing back Viva Pinata, but it's coming with 29 other games. So, it's kind of a rough one to judge. I'm going to give myself a third of the point for this one as well. I made the chart and the predictions, plus it's my show, so a third of the point it is. Finally, I said that they would not talk about Kinect at all on stage. There would be no Kinect exclusive games, and they wouldn't even mention it. That completely happened. 1 point for me, and minus 1 point for Kinect. That brings my grand total to 3 points for the Microsoft conference. That's actually pretty respectable overall. Next up was Sony. My first prediction for this came true before E3 even started, but I said that Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 would be remastered and come with a beta for Uncharted 4, and it would be released this year. All of that happened to a T. 1 point for me. I then said that Gravity Rush would be coming to the PlayStation 4 remastered, but so would Gravity Rush 2, and the original Gravity Rush would come bundled in with it, similar to Bayonetta. They didn't mention Gravity Rush at all. No points for me. I then said that Project Morpheus would get a ton of stage time. They would announce exclusive games, and a company would come out, such as Media Molecule, and say that their game was exclusive to Morpheus. That didn't happen. Media Molecule did come out and show off their new game, but it was not with Project Morpheus. In fact, Project Morpheus only got 2 minutes of stage time. I get 0 points for this one. Though I do still think that Media Molecule's game Dreams will come to Project Morpheus, it just seems to fit too well. You're able to sculpt a dream within 360 degrees and you can look all around, and it just makes sense for that game. Next, I said that they would show a teaser for The Last of Us movie. They showed Sly Cooper and Ratchet & Clank last year, and I thought we'd see a little bit more of each, and then a teaser for The Last of Us. That didn't happen at all. In fact, they didn't bring up movies at all. No points for me. And finally, of all the games revealed, I said that we would see Sony Santa Monica's God of War game revealed in a teaser. We didn't. We saw Guerrilla's game, Horizon, revealed, and it wasn't just a teaser, it was gameplay. So 0 points for me. Overall, my Sony predictions, 1 point for the Uncharted collection that was revealed before E3. Go me. Finally, it was Nintendo. Most of these were just kind of guesses, but let's see how I did. I said that Zelda would show up, and that they were bluffing about it not being there. Zelda didn't show up, and I feel like the conference suffered for it, but that's neither here nor there. 0 points for me. I then said that they would show off Smash DLC, as well as announce a new character. This happened right before E3, on June 14th, so I'm gonna count it, because not only did they show off Lucas, they had a trailer for the next 2 characters, Roy and Ryu, and they all released the same day. 1 point for me. Next, I said that they would have an Amiibo exclusive game. This one, I'm gonna give myself half points for. They didn't have a game that included all the Amiibo like I thought, but they do have an Animal Crossing Amiibo game coming out that seems to require Amiibo. So as of right now, half a point for me. I said that they would remaster a beloved N64 game. My prediction was F-Zero, but I also threw out Yoshi's Story, or Kirby. It didn't matter what I threw out because they were all wrong. 0 points for me. And finally, I said that there would be a new Paper Mario, and it would be on the Wii U. We did get a new Paper Mario, but it was a 3DS game. Half a point for me. That brings my Nintendo total to 2 points. Sony with 1, Nintendo with 2, and Microsoft with 3. Microsoft wins my E3 predictions 2015. So how would you rank the press conferences? People seem to be all over the place this year. Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like this video, give it a share, and subscribe for more videos. I'm Kevin McManus, and I'll speak with you soon.